558-1515.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome to the Playmaker Spotlight, part of the Get Down to Business radio show, where we speak to successful CEOs and business owners and share their success stories and best practices with you. I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. I'm very pleased to have as our guest on tonight's program, Carl Dekker. He's president of Metalflow, and we'll spell that MET-L-FLO, no W, Inc. Metalflow Inc., headquartered in Sugar Grove. Metalflow Inc. is a provider of what's called 3D printing or additive manufacturing services. We'll hear more about what that means, listeners. Additive manufacturing is more commonly known as rapid prototyping or 3D printing, and Carl is an industry pioneer and an expert actively involved in research and development of this product in this industry for some time now, using the newest technologies and innovative methods for 3D printing. I, for one, am very interested and looking forward to learning more about this very unique industry. So, Carl, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Dick. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, Carl, to begin with, I mentioned that the company's name is Metalflow, MET-L-FLO. A little bit confusing. You do 3D printing and additive manufacturing, which I was under the impression was mostly casting typically in plastics of various sorts, and the name metal kind of, I don't know, it's kind of got me confused. Help me out here. And there's no W on the name. So.
No, the name actually comes from the original people who were consultants to the metal forging industry. They did tool design, setup, production, and everything. I brought on the additive or the rapid prototyping at that time. Now we call it additive manufacturing or 3D printing.
And you came in what point?
1991.
1991. Okay, where were you before 91?
I was working for an import-export company that was bringing in some of the equipment that was utilized to do this rapid prototyping services.
Okay, so you've been in this since college, this
pretty much
idea? Okay, great. So obviously it seems to most of us normals that 3D printing has just been around for a short period of time, but a bit more than a short period of time, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I know you entered this industry pretty much at its very beginning stages. How do you manage to stay on top of all this technology? I mean, it seems like it changes every day.
Well, we've tried to do a lot of development of our own to advance, to meet customers' needs or requirements, to adapt technologies and processes to generate an output that gives them a product that they can take forward and further the development of their designs and their products as they bring them to market. So we've been involved in a lot of different trade shows, a lot of different conferences, presented at those, worked with a lot of the organizers, and over the years have become pretty entrenched in a lot of those different venues. Actively now, I still serve on the chair of the ASTM F42 Committee on Standards for Additive Manufacturing, a number of different conference organizing committees, as well as past chair in a number of different things like the Rapid Prototyping Association or the Rapid Technologies Additive Manufacturing community of the SME, and a variety of different conference venues, just trying to help further the technology, further the information for what's available and out there.
So for our listeners to understand a little better, earlier on we were talking about, an energy connection. You talked about 17 different parts, and you managed to make it all out of one piece of plastic. Is that right?
We weren't the ones who actually made it. It's GE that did it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to give a big company credit.
No, sorry. They're the ones who have publicized it. There's a lot of work that has gone on into part count consolidation.
Part count consolidation. Okay, there you go.
Removing the number of pieces in an assembly makes things a lot more cost effective. For aerospace, it makes things a lot more serviceable and reduces the overall cost of the operation of the vehicle in production.
Sure.
You can't always apply that to everywhere, so really working with somebody who understands the limits of the technology as well as the capabilities of the technology can become very beneficial for a company to engage these technologies and move them forward into when they can bring out a product or when they should just use them for product development.
So for innovative companies, you actually work on the solution with the manufacturer way in advance in the architectural stage, if you will, right? And
correct.
You do prototyping. That's where a lot of this 3D comes into play, where you show the manufacturer a prototype, and then he might do it a different way, but he's used your plastic prototype to convince customers, perhaps?
All the time. The interesting thing is a lot of us will actually mention that the difference between a prototype and a production part is whether you throw it out and change the design.
Oh, okay. So some of your prototypes can actually, you're getting to the point where you can use them in actual production then.
Correct. And there's a number of parts that we produce on a regular basis that are end-use parts.
End user. Okay, great. So this is saving time in terms of design and testing as well as money.
Correct. And it's allowing people to eliminate the entire step of going to tooling. So if they have a design change, they can institute that quickly and simply without necessarily being committed to a block number of production parts before they can recover their investment.
Gotcha. So your business strategy has helped you accelerate the growth that you experienced, obviously, but what are the key building blocks to your particular success?
Well, I kind of looked at it in the beginning and understood that in order to prove a design, you have to have good quality parts to work with. Being able to produce those quality parts, make sure that our customers were successful with getting the test data, whether it was good or bad, was critical, and it allowed us to build strong relationships with them. A lot of the people that we've worked with over the years have recommended that we do quality management systems, other methodologies that are very common in manufacturing, apply them to our industry or our particular business so that we can actually advance what we're doing and make it more scalable. So since then, we've become ISO 9000 certified, AS certified, as well as ITAR certified. So just some quality measurements.
So you're the guy. So, hey, if you're just tuning in, this is the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight, and I'm Dick Smith, your host, and we're talking to Carl Dekker, president of Metal Flow from Sugar Grove, Illinois. So what really makes your business unique? I mean, you've got a niche, obviously. You have competition, I assume? And
There's a lot of competitors out there, but with the onset of the web, it makes it very easy for a lot of people to just want to go and click a couple of buttons and place an order and get what they want. We did that back in the 90s, and we found that these technologies are pretty intricate, and understanding how to apply them properly can be very challenging. So we pulled our online pricing off of the web and basically engage customers and look at the application. Some people will have an understanding of different technologies and may know what they're looking for, but not necessarily know the best process to get there. So we put in place structures that allow our internal staff to work with our clients and recommend processes. They could be exactly what the customer was looking for and thought they were looking for in the beginning, and many times it could be completely different. But at the end of the day, they're getting a product that's going to help them move forward their design, their concept, or their end-use product to a higher success.
So then your best customer, as I would understand it, appreciates the knowledge you bring to the table as a solution provider. It's not so much price sensitive. Obviously, with competition, they're always going to be lowering the price. 3D printing is going to get easier, faster, cheaper, right? That's the expectation as technology improves.
That's a target for a lot of it. It may not be cheaper on a one-to-one per part basis, but when you look at the entire solution and the fact that we can help them avoid iterations, lost time in developing products, and help them move faster to what is going to be a more advanced end solution.
So you become a trusted advisor for the good customers that you serve. You're not competing on price with RFPs at this stage in your career.
Correct.
So tell me, what's next for Metal Flow? Where are you going? It's hard to find people that can say where the technology's taking us, but what's your take?
We're looking at how we can engage our clients more, help them learn how to apply these technologies, learn how to better utilize the freedoms that come from using these technologies so that they can make more advanced products, while at the same time we're trying to grow, strengthen our organization and the knowledge of our people internally so that everybody they talk to has a depth of knowledge that goes beyond what you would typically encounter in the field.
I'll tell you, I could talk about this subject with you for way into the hour, Carl, but I'm afraid we've run out of time here with our guest, Carl Dekker, president of Metal Flow Incorporated from Sugar Grove. Carl, Thank you so much for being with us today. Very interesting conversation. Perhaps we can pick it up again in the future. You're both a great innovator, pioneer, and a success story. You epitomize what a visionary entrepreneur is all about. So how do we get in touch if they're interested, our listeners, in reaching out to you? They can contact us through information on our webpage at www.met-l-flo.com. There you go. Well, thanks again, Carl. I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in once again this week. This has been the Playmaker Spotlight with your host, Dick Smith, CEO and business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. You can find me on LinkedIn or email me at dick.smith@vistage.com. And now, let's get back to Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein.
A pair of gunmen